Greetings, Weather Nation. Well, I apologize for not making a pre-game video, for I just got swamped with schoolwork. But that game really could have gone better, couldn't it have? I mean, we were in a position to win this game. It was a close game throughout, which it was more than I thought it would going to this game. I mean, it was at pretty much a 10-point game after they started scoring a lot of touchdowns and field goals, of course. But this was a game that was within our reach to win. We just couldn't put it in too much. I mean, granted, our defense did let up a lot of yards in this game, over 500, I believe. I honestly thought they performed better than I thought they would. I thought they showed a lot of improvement overall, especially against the run. I mean, after losing our defensive coordinator, I thought that our chances of having a defense that could stop a team like Oklahoma State were very slim. But after this game, even though they ended up winning, my confidence in the defense is pretty high. I mean, granted, our secondary needs some work, which is pretty obvious. And I'm in no way in saying our defense is great or perfect, because it isn't. But from where we were at the beginning of the season, I feel more confident going into the rest of our conference play. On offense, however, we made a couple mistakes. Not only did we have we had several drop passes on offense that probably should have been caught. And I'm not going to put a lot of blame on Davis Webb here, because he did show a lot of what we saw against Arizona State in this game. I mean, granted, he did throw 2 interceptions. Those interceptions weren't really throws that were something I could get really mad about. For he just simply underestimated the defense of Oklahoma State. And I really hope he's okay, because after he went down near the end of the game with a dislocated left shoulder and Mahomes came in, I really want Webb for a quarterback position, because Mahomes, from what I saw in that game, has a tendency to run with the ball. And listen, not every quarterback's not going to be a Johnny Manziel, but at the same time, you gotta make throws. You can't just run with the ball. I mean, that's not gonna work for us against the opponents we have left. Well, in this game, I thought Webb did a pretty bang-up job than what he has been doing this season so far. And when Mahomes came in, any hope of a comeback was immediately lost by that interception, which led to a touchdown by Oklahoma State. I hope we don't lose Webb for the rest of the season, because Mahomes right now is gonna be the guy that will probably lead us to a 2-10 season. But there's one thing in this game that was hard to watch, and that was penalties. I mean, it wasn't just Tech getting a lot of penalties in this game. It was Oklahoma State as well, but we ended up getting above 150 yards in penalty yards. I mean, after our last game is Iowa State. Against Arkansas, I thought our penalty situation was dealt with, that we won't going to get a whole lot more this season, but at this rate, I'm not going to be surprised if we are going to be the most heavily penalized team in Division 1 football, because let's face it, on both sides of the ball, we were pretty undisciplined. And our special teams, it ended up getting a touchdown callback, which was a pain in the ass to watch. I mean, come on. I thought getting just above 100 yards in penalties was bad enough. But getting above 150 yards, there was no excuse for that at all. I mean, seriously, how many 15-yarders can you get? And how many holding calls are you going to give up? I mean, for fuck's sake. If we want to win a game in conference, those penalties have got to go. While defense, as I said before, did show a lot of improvement, especially given the conditions of losing our defensive coordinator during the bye week. Our defense kept us in this game for a little bit. Our offense just couldn't connect a whole lot. And I really hope that Webb comes back, because I don't want Mahomes as the quarterback. I mean, although I did say I wanted Mahomes to get some reps in practice, I did not want him to take the starting job from Webb. I just want to apply a little pressure on Webb to perform to the best of his abilities. And now with his return being questionable, I'm even more iffy on the season than I was. For when our defensive coordinator got fired, I said, what could go wrong? And I was hesitant to say that our quarterback gets injured for the season. But I didn't say it because I didn't want to jinx us. But apparently that was not effective at all, because Webb is injured with a dislocated shoulder. I mean, he may have got it back into place. I don't see him coming back for the Kansas State game, and maybe even the West Virginia game. It's gonna be an interesting season. I mean, I've said that so far, but Webb did show some improvement when he was in the position before he got injured, and I'm pretty sure if Webb was the quarterback when we were on that 4th and a mile near the end of the fourth quarter, that Kingsbury would have gone for it. But with Mahomes in, given the fact that he has that chance to run the ball like a fool, I can understand his season to want to trust our defense and getting the stop instead of going for it. But I don't know. This season has turned to a quite interesting one really fast. I mean, hopefully we can get our shit together before Kansas State next week. But it all depends on whether our offense can learn how not to drop passes, which are passes they shouldn't drop. And if Davis Webb is in the best of condition to play. Because right now, even though I'm more optimistic than I was after the blowout loss to Arkansas, I'm still a bit worried. Not on our defense this time, but more so on our offense. It all depends on whether our offense can learn how to start dropping passes they shouldn't drop, if Webb is okay, and most of all, and this goes for all of our teams, if we can lay off the penalties, because I am still amazed that we managed to keep it that close of a game with 150 yards of penalties and 3 turnovers. But still, that shit's gonna stop. It really has to stop. If we have any hope of going bowling this season, let alone winning a game in conference, I just don't know what else to say. I hope that Webb gets healed fully before a game against Kansas State, which is in Manhattan. Well, that's going to be a deciding point whether or not we're going to win that game probably next week. But still, even with Webb going down, I'm still left going to the conference play with more hope than I had after the loss against Arkansas. So once again, our defense, even though they let up 500 yards, they still performed better than I thought they would with regards to this goal. And Oklahoma State always has a great offense no matter what. And the fact that we held them to 500 yards or so after the pathetic performance we had against Central Arkansas, UTEP, and Arkansas itself. Yeah, I'm going to take this as a win, because despite all the hardships our defense has faced in the past few weeks, and especially losing the DQ, they came out to play. Now it's up to the offense to start connecting more, and hopefully that Webb is not gone for the season. So, until next time, Raider Nation, guns up, Raider Power, and Wreck 'em Tech.